Hi, I'm Paul Denning here at the Circuit of Catalunya, just outside Barcelona, and we're finally back to the track, testing in preparation for the comeback to the World Superbike Championship with the Pata Yamaha World Superbike team with Rizzler. It's a different world right now for everybody, for sports teams included, and we're just here to give you a bit of an overview of what we've had to do to come back to racing safely, bearing in mind the COVID crisis, and what we've done to protect both the riders and the team. As a primary precaution, the first thing we need to understand is that everybody in the team currently doesn't have the virus, and to find out what their status is health-wise. So we've conducted PCR viral testing before we've come out here to the Barcelona test, which will be repeated again before we go to the Jerez and Portimao races. And then when we're at the track, we back up this viral testing with blood tests, serology tests for antibodies, which help us to belt and brace the time delay in between the viral testing and actually arriving at the track and all the travel and any potential risks of exposure in between. So that's been completed here at the track, and we'll continue to run this same protocol, viral testing and antibody testing throughout the rest of the season, both prior to and during the race events themselves. As you can see behind us and with myself, everybody's following the team protocol, which at certain distancing is always to be wearing a protective mask. That mask changes for the guys if they're working very closely with each other. They have to wear a stronger approved mask called an FFP2 mask, which reduces transmission at closer distances, and also at very close distances working together, for example, changing an engine or working on the front end of the bike. The guys will wear glasses as well, or a face shield to further protect themselves. Obviously, we have our own test results, so we kind of know that the guys are all negative, but we can't assume that anyone around us that we meet at the hotel or the racetrack is. So additional to all that, we've also sent the guys out a care package, including everything from vitamin C, vitamin D and zinc vitamin supplements to help boost everyone's immunity systems, to sanitizers, hand sprays, the glasses, and anything we can to try and give the team a healthier start point to the race weekends and keep them well. Additional to that, a lot of the guys in the team normally double up and share rooms. Everyone's got a single room, not only to, again, protect with the distancing aspect, but also to ensure everyone gets a good night's sleep and is as well rested as they possibly can be. A human being's a human being, but critical to this project, Yamaha's World Superbike campaign for 2020, are obviously Top Rack and Michael as our riders. If they get sick, they're tested for COVID positive, we're done. We can't race, they can't race, and our championship's finished. So keeping them safe and protected is really a bigger priority almost than anybody else. And for that reason, they've received all exactly the same protocols. They work under the same protocols, the same distancing and the same protection measures. But we've also tried to add for them some helpful stuff, for example, like using radios in the garage. Instead of giving their comments directly and closely with their helmets on to their crew chief and to their electronics engineers, they're working with a handheld mic, with a radio. But in fairness, not only has that given us a better health situation in terms of more distancing, it's also helped the engineers because a wider group of engineers can wear the radios and hear the rider comments more directly. So that could be something that's been introduced because of the COVID protocols, but actually we carry on with when this crisis is finished. Obviously, everybody at Yamaha, everyone in the championship is super excited to be back racing and testing and preparing to race. But one element this COVID crisis has introduced, as we've had to control the pit box and our truck areas and all the areas that the team operate in far more closely. And that's a little bit disappointing for journalists, for cameramen, for colleagues and friends of the team who generally, as an open, welcoming team, we like to welcome into our pit box. But we've had to really clamp right down on that because we can only test and control our group, and we've got a responsibility not only to ourselves, but to Dorna and to the championship itself. And I hope all the teams are taking that same level of responsibility to keep this show on the road. And the only way that's going to happen is by people looking after themselves and not testing positive for the COVID virus. So apologies if you're watching this and you're one of the many journalists or people that are normally in our pit box who we get along very well with. But if you're thrown out by the scruff of the neck, it's for good reason.